Hello, my wonderful friends of the internet. Today we are talking about the madness that is live storytelling. And I shouldn't say madness because I teach and I preach live storytelling using social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram and now Facebook all the time. Of course, there's also Periscope, and I don't even know actually if Twitter has it or not. I think that they might have a live storytelling type feature as well, but let's focus in on the three main ones, and that is Snapchat, Instagram stories, and now Facebook stories. Of course, there's Facebook Messenger Day, which is also a storytelling app. It's getting a bit overwhelming. Even I'm overwhelmed, and I do this for a living. So let's start with the basics of why these types of apps are happening to us and why I feel like we need them. So these storytelling apps, you've seen Snapchat now for ages, you've seen Instagram stories for a really long time, and now Facebook has been rolling out some new stuff as well. What these apps do for not only business people but communities is really bring them together. It allows this type of camera first, and I'm not the first to coin that phrase, but it's really what it is, because what you're doing is you're looking directly into your camera lens and you're talking, and you're just either telling stories, you're giving information, you're relaying some valuable content to those you know who are watching. Now, there's strategy behind getting people to watch, and it's of course different on every platform. It's about really putting yourself out there in a different way over and above sharing really nice quote images or even writing out your story on posts on Facebook. So, that's first and foremost the purpose of these apps. And now, why are all the different social networks sort of jumping on this Snapchat bandwagon? Well, obviously because it works. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and that's what everybody's doing. Actually, it may have started with Periscope. Even for me, it's a lot, it's overwhelming. And what I would like to have come across more than anything in this video is to decide where you want to plant your flag. Where do you want to create your sort of home base as far as storytelling goes? And that is based on a couple of things. If you are a business person or if you do any kind of marketing for any reason, you have to know and or decide, where do your customers and your clients and your tribe, where do they hang out? Because those are the ones that you want to see your stories. So if they're not on Snapchat, you may want to put Snapchat aside for now, or perhaps use it just for your own purposes. I know for me, I continue to use Snapchat on a daily basis because of the community I've built there, because it's very different than anywhere else that I hang out on social media. But if you're selling a product or selling a service or providing informational content about, let's say, a company you work for, Instagram stories, if that's where your people hang out, that's where you'll want to utilize that functionality. If everybody you know in the world for every single reason is on Facebook, maybe that's where you want to stay. And now that they have this Facebook stories rolled out worldwide, who knows, it's kind of limitless. That brings about different possibilities too. Like, do you want your grandmother seeing your stories? Or, you have to really start thinking about how you're going to use this for your best purposes. I know that there are ways that you can decide who to send it to, so you don't have to send it to everybody. You can pick and choose, and you can also take a Facebook story, and I did this today. You can take a Facebook story that you create and you can send it as a post to your personal profile. So, it's really kind of a little bit overwhelming at this stage of the game because a lot of it's brand new and a lot of it is different, and people don't necessarily always like change. I personally love change, and that's why, you know, I always do my best to dive into these things as quickly as possible so that I can learn it for myself and also in turn teach it. What I'd like you to leave with, other than sheer and utter confusion from this video, is just this. If you're planning to tell your story, which I highly hope that you are at least considering it, decide which platform you're going to use. And that should be based on the end. Let me backtrack. If you are in business of any sort, then that should be based on where your client, customer, best person, best target market, where they are consuming content. That's what that should be based on. If you're telling story simply to bond and create community, tell it everywhere and see what happens. It's kind of like dropping seeds, watering them and seeing which one will grow the best or the fastest. That's sort of a crazy, weird analogy. And if you're telling stories just because you feel like it, well, then pick your favorite platform. That's kind of what I had for today. Anyways, my wonderful friends of the internet, if you do have questions about live storytelling functions on the different social networks, please leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And that way we can keep the conversation going about this. Besides, you may have a question that somebody else is too nervous to ask, and that I'd love to be able to serve as many people as I can with these videos. If you haven't yet already subscribed, go ahead and click up. You're going to see my picture there any second. If you like this video and want to see what I post every single week. So make sure you also click on the little bell that's there beside the subscribe button. That way you get a notification when I upload a video. That being said, I want to thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. You could be spending your time anywhere and you're spending it with me. I really appreciate that. So until my next video, I want to wish for you a wonderful day. Bye for now. Making this up as I go, but it's starting to sound like it makes some sense, doesn't it?